Thank you for joining me. I'm Cynthia, and I'm talking about spiritual ignorance and toxic advice given through unbalanced spiritual practitioners, medium psychics, and self-help gurus and coaches. This is a subject I am very familiar with, as I have worked with my own abilities for well over 40 years. In the course of that time, I have met many individuals who worked with their abilities as well, and often gave some pretty toxic advice to others that devastated them at a soul level. The reason this subject is coming up at this time is because I personally have been affected by this behavior through unsolicited advice that I have not asked for, that has simply come to pass because of who I am and what I do and the information that I have put out for the public. Those of you who personally know me or have followed me for quite some time, you know that I've had cancer. I am a survivor of a horrific stage 3 that claimed a great deal of my life, and the treatments left me physically disabled and disfigured with a very serious bone disease that I am not getting adequate medical care for at this time. I am someone who has struggled with our system and health insurance for the past 20 years because I have been labeled catastrophic. If you want to know more about that, you can watch one of my videos in my library. But the point that I am making at this time is that many in the self-help and spiritual field do work with reverse psychology and negative spiritual programming that is not only damaging, but it is very dangerous to those who are new to the field, who have been harmed medically, who have been harmed emotionally through medical neglect and possibly malpractice. Also, any other physical or emotional condition that they may be struggling with. Because for those of you who have a disability or a physical illness that is something that you deal with every day that is chronic, you know the emotional effects of this. I have been putting out educational information for the past 5 years on YouTube to stress that honing my psychic abilities are what did indeed save my life, because I gained a closer connection to God, and I trusted my empathic abilities. And through all the trials and the denials with my insurance company, I was able to receive life-saving treatments and surgeries, as well as gleaning from my past knowledge on how to physically take care of myself, to bring myself back to the place where I was mobile once again. It has been a tremendous journey. It has been a heartbreaking, trying struggle that I can't even begin to express the difficulties that I have faced in my life. And many of them did come through the judgments of others, which is the point that I am trying to make. I have been sharing my experience with my insurance company for the past week. And the fact that I have been denied for life-saving treatment due to a horrific bone disease in my jaw from radiation damage from cancer treatments. A number of self-help coaches and counselors have given me unsolicited advice that I have not asked for, and have made the statement that the reason I am being denied the medical treatment that I need to have is due to bad karma from past lifetimes and from actions that I have committed in this lifetime. They have made statements that there is something that I am doing wrong, and that is why I am receiving the treatment I am getting from my insurance company and from the medical field in general right now. I could not believe this. I felt like I had stepped back in time to the early 1980s and was amongst New Age mavens who were totally unrealistic about life in general, let alone having any connection whatsoever to the spiritual realms. An anointed spiritual teacher sees every angle. There are many aspects to illness, and there is no spiritual guru or teacher on the face of this earth that is so plugged in that they can read correctly as to why someone got cancer or Guillain-Barré or Parkinson's disease or fibromyalgia or lupus or whatever the case may be. No spiritual teacher has a right or the ability to pass down judgment to another human being. That is, for lack of a better word, channeling from the satanic forces. It is time for those who work with the truth and the light to stand up to this backward, ignorant way of thinking, talking, and believing. It doesn't serve anyone, and it certainly is not serving the higher aspects of the soul or the individual in need. In closing, I would like to tell you that I very much believe in doctors and getting medical help. Otherwise, I wouldn't be fighting so hard to bring you the truth, in spite of being shadow banned on YouTube and being continually threatened by others, and being told that I need to keep my mouth shut about what has happened to me and many other people. That is bogus, and I'm not going to do it. I am going to speak the truth until I breathe the very last breath in my body. And you might think about this. Many years ago, as we were coming into the year 2000, I had a friend who was following a religious cult. And that religious cult had broken up our friendship. We were like sisters. And one day she called me out of the clear blue and told me she was sick. Would I come to see her? I didn't do anything to put myself together. I got in a car and I drove to where she was, which was an hour away. She asked me for an intuitive reading. I picked up that she had cancer in the uterus. Told her she needed to call a doctor immediately. I felt that the outcome would be very good, that they would catch it in time. The following day, she called me. She'd made the appointment. But when she returned from the doctor, her cult had gotten hold of her and told her not to pursue it any further. And I said to her, just answer me one question. What did the doctor tell you? And she said, everything that you did. If I were to have a hysterectomy and have everything, the ovaries, the uterus, all taken out, I would live a normal life. Instead, she opted for healing treatments, which I believe in. I am not against that. But I also believe in practical wisdom and doing it with true medical care. Well, she opted out of the medical care and went with these treatments. I didn't hear from her for several months, and I called her out of concern. A woman picked up the phone and told me she was her minister, and that she would not be speaking with me because I had too much negativity, and she had to shield my friend from that negativity because I was channeling bad energy to her by telling her to get medical attention. Well, guess what? My friend was dead in a matter of weeks after that. So, I want you to think about what is going on here and take a good look at the mess our planet is in. And for Americans who have freedom of speech and every blessing possible for many decades in this country, to wake up, smell the coffee, and truly look at the state things are in. Because this kind of behavior, where everything is karmic and you've done something wrong and you must have been really, really bad because you're going without a home and you can't find an apartment because they're $3,000 a month, or you can't buy groceries or get medical insurance. It's time to wake up. This is foolishness. And not only that, it's pure stupidity. I'm going to close this out now, but I want you to think about this because there is more coming, and I am risking myself to do this, but the truth is what sets us free. I wish you much love and many blessings.